Hope you got everything you wanted for Father's Day. Maybe it's just some time with your family, something that I know I don't take for granted. After listening to this week's Cargo Shorts from Jeremy Tracey, who's from the Life 100.7 morning show in Omaha.
Man, this is hard. This is so hard. My favorite memory of my dad actually happened close to when he passed away. It was like in the few months before he passed away. I should start earlier in my life so it makes sense why this event was so significant. Growing up, my dad, he was just critical of the world, critical of himself. And of course, that's what drove it, right? He was mad at himself, didn't like himself, so he was critical of the world. And he was very, very critical of my mom. During therapy, I have had to come to grips with the fact that growing up in that kind of environment, that critical environment, has negatively impacted me. And I've had to process that and forgive that and let go of that. And the thing about my dad's criticism, I always wondered why it impacted me so much, because it really was not directed to me. I mean, there were outbursts and stuff, but just not really focused on me. But the thing I've realized over the past couple months actually is my dad just really contributed to an environment that felt unsafe and wasn't predictable. So because my dad was so critical of my mom, and my mom was working so hard to please him and make him happy, she was always stressed out. And because she was always stressed out, that stress she took out on us. So it was a stressful environment. And as I've gotten older, I realized, yeah, of course, that living in that kind of environment, growing up, especially when you're a kid, and I was just like, I'm just trying to be a kid you're proud of and that you love, and just feeling like I'm not getting something right. The other thing that was missing from my dad was just hearing from him that he was proud of me and he loved me. Shortly after college, grad school, I got married. Man, talking about this stuff is hard. I got married, and as my wife Jill and I would visit my parents, and I was, of course, becoming more self-aware of some of the challenges of my childhood, I just became more vocal about the fact that I want you to tell me you're proud of me and that you love me. That's all I want to hear. I was saying it both to my mom and my dad. And my dad and my mom would say to me, why should you need that? You know we love you. They just struggled to say it and let it be known. It's something I desperately wanted. So my dad eventually was diagnosed with lupus, a very severe form of lupus. And I don't know how much you know about lupus, but it just attacks the body, the organs, and his body just started shutting down, and eventually attacked his heart and the functioning of his heart. And it became very clear that he was going to pass away. And what I noticed from my dad in those final months is he started vocalizing his love for me and that he was proud of me. And as you can imagine, that was amazing. You know, it was like I'd been walking through a desert and I find a drink of water, right? I'm thankful for that. And I'm thankful for my dad. I am. He did so much right. He tried his best, but there were just elements of my childhood that were challenging for both my brother and myself. But I'm thankful that God gave me that from my dad in those final moments.